and hopefully that is working. I'm not entirely sure if it will be. We'll find out very shortly. This is Mikesunboxing Reviews Now 2. It is Saturday the something of something. Oh, can't tell, it's on Discord. Come on, stupid watch.
We can see and hear him.
Apple Watch is having a little bit of a funny 5 minutes here. There we go. Saturday the 11th of December 2021, 9:03. Not too bad for me. Normally I'm a little bit later. Sadly, Poppy wants to go out, but she's not allowed out, so you may hear the occasional whimper of a cat. We're not maiming or hurting the cat, it's just, yeah, wants to go out.
It's the other way round.
Yeah, it's the other way around actually. She maims and destroys everything in her sight. So, tonight's stream we're going to be doing a build in the Tower 100, which has been long overdue, and basically I need the room, so I've got to get it done and dusted and boxed up so I can put it into the other room, so I've actually got a means of walking around this table. First world problems, eh? And luckily today managed to pick up some graphics cards, so hopefully other builds which I've got planned will be able to finally go ahead, even though they're only GTX 1070s, but still better than nothing, which is what a lot of us have to put up with at the moment. So, oh dear, what a time for graphics cards. Now hopefully the audio is coming through. I'll have a look in the chat. It appears, from what I can see at the moment, typically I've set everything up so that this is actually completely in the way, which is not a good sign. So yeah, maybe I might have to move this around a bit to do the intros. But hopefully the volume is okay and everything is working. Mike Wild Bill says, you forgot to shave again. I know. There's a reason behind that. There is actually a valid reason. It's not me being, well, it is me being lazy, but there's also a reason. Our friends over at Skull Shaver have actually said, Mike, would you like us to send over the new platinum version of the, what is it, a pit bull? Bull pit? Pit bull, not a ball pit, that's what kids go in. It's a pit bull head shaver, so waiting for that to come through. They wanted to see it before and after, so I've got to grow this stuff out a little bit so I can give it a really good challenge. At least that's my excuse. They haven't replied to the email yet, so this may get quite long and I may actually end up looking more like Santa Claus. Anyway, so tonight we'll be doing the build. Yeah, where do I start? Probably a good idea, let's introduce some of the parts first of all. The case, some of you have probably seen already, so I'm going to get this out of the way. But we are going to be using Thermaltake's Tower 100 in racing green. Not Burmese racing green, not British racing green, not Bradford racing green. It's just racing green. As I've been reliably informed by Thermaltake on numerous occasions, it isn't British racing green. Although it can be whatever you want it to be. So we're going to be doing the build in this. Obviously it's going to be a slightly green theme to this, as yeah, well, there's not a lot else you can do with this. I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is I will do the build in this with it being green and with other green components, and I'm pretty much erring on the side of a Christmas kind of theme build at the moment. So RGB fans, other green stuff, maybe sticking a Christmas tree and some baubles, that kind of stuff. I want to do the build first of all to see what kind of room I've got in there, whether or not I can get away with using an air cooler, or whether or not I need to actually invest in a 120 or 140mm AIO cooler to go in the top here, just to give us a little bit more room in this kind of inspection area, as I like to think of it. Still not sure. Hence why we're going to do the build, go through it, see the pros and cons, put it all together, and see what works and what doesn't, which is pretty much what most of us do, although I'm doing it in a live stream stupidly, so anything that could go wrong is likely to go wrong, and as per usual, yeah, we have a little kitten, and also it's me doing it, so things can go wrong very, very quickly, and I haven't prepared at all, really. Other than creating a thumbnail for the video and pulling these parts off the floor, I've not done any prep at all, so I don't even know if the fans are going to work out. The fans themselves, the Inwin Saturn fans, they're daisy chain fans, so there's like an umbilical cord that goes between them. I don't know whether the umbilical cords are going to be suitable for this, is the honest answer. So yes, it could all go very, very wrong, but we're not going to get upset about it. We're not going to cry. There will be no tears shed. We're just going to do what we can, and hopefully it all works out for the best. And if it doesn't, we end the stream and life carries on as normal, and we put it down and pick it up at another time. Welly Bob sent us £2 super chat, which I can just about see that there. Oh, I can see the clear button as well. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Welly Bob, for that. He says, have some more green. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Kath's got to do 2 lights tonight, which is upsetting, and juggle the cat. What's the audio like actually? Because I'm on Normally I'm on a wired connection, but I'm actually using my my Boya wireless setup, so I can actually move around and not have to worry about a wire too much. All I've got is the wire going to my lav, so yeah, hopefully this makes things a little bit easier. And if I do need to go and take a visit to the little boys' room at some point, I don't have to worry about unplugging my mic, which is awesome. There's another super chat there from Arali. Says, get this out of the way now before you have your hands deep in the build. I couldn't see what it said there. I was lucky that it did say that on the end and I didn't say something else because I would have just read it anyway. Thank you very much. Cheers, O'Reilly. Appreciate that very, very much. So let's, oh, there's Poppy for those of you that are asking. What's that, Poppy? Don't stand on the keyboard because you might end the stream inadvertently. It's like crossing the streams. What are you watching?
You're watching yourself.
Lunatic. Right, let's get this out of the way and then we'll take a look at some of the parts and start putting this all together. Hopefully you lot are all okay, doing well, feeling good, feeling fit, feeling healthy. I can honestly say I'm feeling none of those right now, but we'll carry on regardless. Poppy likes that. So the ToughRAM 12 which they've sent, I'm pretty sure I won't be using this. I don't think at the moment I can think of anywhere justifiably where I can put it additionally to the other 3 fans. That might change, but I don't think I'm going to be using that. So if you're looking forward specifically to seeing this in action, sadly you won't. And I'm not using the standard fans which come with the case either because they're just plain boring black spinning fans. So yeah, not particularly interested in that. Things we will be using, obviously we'll be using the ToughRAM RGB in racing green. This stuff's actually pretty cool. It looks kind of like, almost like Lego. It's a very bizarre look. I still don't understand why Thermaltake went with the whole green thing. I know green in itself as a theme or a topic these days is a very hot potato, but actually in terms of a colour for computer components and parts, it's probably, if I was to think of a colour for PC parts, I think green would probably be the last on the list. I think I would probably put almost every colour in the spectrum before it than green. I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments.
Okay, Flynn. So
we'll be using that. We're going to use the ToughAIR 310. So that is going to be the cooling on this. We don't really need a great deal of cooling. It's only a Ryzen 5 5600G. So yeah, it's not going to get that hot. Although we're not entirely sure how well the case actually ventilates at the moment. So this is kind of erring on the side of caution rather than using the stock cooler that comes with it. So we're using that. Processor wise, yep, we're using the Ryzen 5 5600G. So this has got onboard VEGA 8 graphics, I believe it is. Is it VEGA 8? Or VEGA 7, something like that. Who knows? Who cares? Basically, it'll play 1080p games in low settings at somewhere between kind of 30 and maybe 60 FPS, depending on your games. So potentially this could be a standalone. You could use this on its own as a gaming PC for kind of lower end games and some of the old esports titles. For modern games, really, you're going to want to put a graphics card with this, which is potentially what we might do if I can get my hands on it. Where is it? So we might be putting this in. I might just put this in anyway to see what it does size-wise. So this is a EVGA GTX 1070 SC. This is actually a pretty big card in terms of what graphics cards are actually like these days. It's got quite a bit of length to this one, so I might put this in there to see how it goes. It would be quite nice because in the PC it's going to be standing kind of upright like that. So you can see the illumination on the side there. It says EVGA, although that only lights up in white. So whether or not that is going to actually detract from the build or add to the build, I'm really not sure. So we'll see how we go, see what the space is like. If it gets to the point where that is going to take up too much room, then I probably won't put it in there. Because I've really got a thing for putting a Christmas tree inside a PC, which in itself is probably not really a good idea. But it's something which I've got in my head, so I need to do it. Even if I take it out straight away and put something else in instead. So potentially that's going to go in there. Power supply wise, this might change as well actually. This is Thermaltake's ToughPower SFX 450 watt. This is a fully modular, 100% Japanese capacitors, 80 plus gold rated. very quiet, very silent. It's limited on power output. 450 is going to be more than enough for the graphics card. That's like, I think like 200 watts maybe, if you combine the PCI Express and the 8-pin connector. This is going to use virtually nothing. It's like 65 watts, I think, if that. I actually check that. Does it say on the box? No, it doesn't say. I'm pretty sure that's a 65 watt part anyway. I would have thought it is. So yeah, that is going to be more than enough. Although I may just swap that out and put in possibly a Cooler Master power supply. I have got another one knocking around here, the Cooler Master. This one. That is the MWE 550 watt gold. Again, fully modular. The reason why I might go with this rather than the Thermaltake one is because for those of you who've been watching and following along, you'll probably know that this Thermaltake stuff was actually sent to me after Thermaltake had kind of done the rounds with it with other reviewers. So there was bits missing, and sadly for the power supply, the SFX to ATX adapter is actually missing. So physically I may not be able to put this into the case. I'm going to take a look at it when there's actually like a rail system in that Tower 100. So I'm going to see if it will fit. If it will fit, I will put it in there. Even if it's just supported with maybe 1 or 2 screws, I will try that and see how it goes. So anyway, that's my thinking behind it. Motherboard wise, we are going with an ITX board, obviously, because it's an ITX case. So we've got the ASRock B550M-ITX-AC. So that is going to be absolutely fine. It's actually not a bad little board. It's got Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff, Bluetooth, all the usual things. I've used it a few times and it seems to be a pretty decent board. Storage wise was something actually which I didn't kind of work out what I was going to do in. I was actually going to change over the the NVMe drive from my PC, which appears to be working, and put a different one in. I just realised that is still on the screen. That must be rather annoying. Take it off there. So yeah, I haven't sorted out the drive, and actually because this was kind of like, oh, I haven't done this, I thought I had other drives available, but I don't seem to have many drives. I've got a 2 terabyte drive, which is the one which I think possibly has failed. I might just put it in there actually just to give it a test. And in fact, actually, that is probably going to be a good idea if that doesn't fall on my head. Oh dear. That's something which I didn't pick up actually this year with the bargains. It's Black Friday. There was lots of drives on the market and I never picked one up. So we'll stick that in there, see how that goes. Hopefully the drive is going to be fine. I think it is fine, but you never know. So that is the motherboard. And fan wise, as much as Thermaltake would probably like me to put some of their RGB stuff in there, well, I don't have them. It's the biggest takeaway, and I don't really want to go with the stock fans, the 2 black plain fans, or the tough fan in green. I think that's going to be just too dark and too dreary. It's Christmas, it's that holiday season, so I want something a little bit nice and bright. So we're going to go with these Saturn fans from Inwin. Most of you have probably seen these already, but they're actually a really nice look to them. And they have got, if I can pull one of these out, they've got a really nice frame around them, which is all completely transparent. So that's going to give a nice lighting from the RGB in the middle. And because the fans in the case are all going to be mounted like this, sideways on, or horizontal, I guess you would probably call it. So there's going to be one at the bottom, pulling air in. There's going to be potentially one in the middle, also pulling air in. And then there's going to be one at the bottom, pulling air in. One at the back, pushing air out, which we're not going to see anyway, but we'll get a bit of bleed through from the RGB. And there's one that's actually right in the very top of the case, which is going to be pulling hot air out. So hopefully between those 3, there might be a little bit of overspill of RGB. If not, I do have some RGB strips ready and waiting to go in. But it's, again, as is something that I haven't really planned. This is more of a kind of just a test fit to see what goes where and how well it all works out. So yeah, we'll see how it all goes. So that is that. Let's take a quick look at some of your questions in the comments and say some hellos before we get started on this properly. And actually, I'm not even sure where I'm going to start, so let's go through some of these. So who have we got in with us? I'm going to scroll right the way back up because I don't want to miss anybody out. So we've got Ugly Bob with us. How you doing, Ugly Bob? We've got a Rally. Peltson says that ToughRAM looks much like Lego. I love it. It's pretty cool. Who else is in with us? Paul Bakewell. Hi Paul, how you doing? William Bodie, good evening to you. Oh la la, they are going online tonight. Moin to you all lovely people from North Germany. How is North Germany this sunny evening over there, possibly, maybe? Or is it freezing cold? It's actually not too bad here today. I think it's about, well, in here it's actually particularly warm. It's currently in this room it is 24.2 degrees, so it is actually pretty tropical. I think outside is about 8 or 9 degrees, so it's actually not too bad here at the moment. Who else is in with us tonight? Jad 2016 says good evening. How you doing, Jad? Cheese Bella says hooray, ITX. Jason Woods is with us also. Skystalker, welcome back. How you doing? Ordinary Dude says Mike's doing an ITX build and I have to leave for work. Oh, never mind.
On replay.
Fandy says hello, Mike and Kath. I hope I can watch. If not many customers, if not, I'll rewatch it soon. Excellent, thank you. Who else have we got? Who else have we got? Nick Barnes says, even all, looking forward to seeing a PC build, Mike. Trust you and Kath and everyone is in good spirits. Yeah, not too bad. It's hard to be in good spirits these days because it's a weird world we live in, but we're making the best of it. Dude Evolution says, ASRock, I wonder about the quality of their motherboards. I'm with you on that one. ASRock boards, especially since the B450s, I feel the quality has dropped quite a bit. But I think they're not alone in that. I think other brands have as well. Some brands have done better than others. MSI seem to be having a really bad time of it at the moment, especially there's one particular board which does seem to be more problematic than any of the others, and that is the B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi, which has got a ridiculously long name. That is the most problematic board I think I've ever known on that platform. Lots and lots of problems with it. I've touched wood. I never had any issues with it, but it seems that a lot of people have done. Now, I might have been lucky that I got in there early, and I'm not sure if the people that have got the non-Wi-Fi version are having problems with it as well, but yeah, I do wonder about some of them. And Gigabyte seems to be having quite a few issues as well with some boards, so yeah, maybe it's just a sign of the times and everyone trying to cut corners. Who else? Welly Bob's with us. Evening all. How you doing, Welly Bob? And James Brock says, Kath says, ow, she's being attacked. Ugly Bob. Aletta's with us. How you doing, Aletta? Just making sure. Rick H says, good evening, Lady Kath, Sir Mike, and fellow mubs around the globe. Hope everyone has had a good week. Thanks, Rick. John Sullivan says, hi guys. Skystalker again. Ugly. And he said, ugly dude, but it's not. It's the ordinary dude. I was trying to confuse Ugly Bob and dude together. It's been one of those days. Matthew Day says, chicken katsu in the microwave. Wish our cat was in the microwave. No, can't say that. Can't say that. Let's just try a new Razer Huntsman Elite optical, and it's awesome. Good stuff, good stuff. Antonin says, good evening, everybody. Have I missed anybody out? I don't think I have. Wild Bill says, hello, you too. Mark Berry
said he bought a Windows 10 Pro key from CD Keys.
Oh, excellent. Thank you for supporting the channel and buying from Premium CD Keys, and thanks for saving yourself money as well. Amazik, I think that's pronounced right, possibly. I'm a big fan. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Dutch Jan says, ho everybody. How you doing, Dutch Jan? O'Reilly says, does Mike have screw for that non-British racing case? No, I don't. I'm going to have to wing it. So that's Wild Bill. You haven't said that? Forgotten to shave yet. Mark Point. How you doing? Deathstroke says, evening. How you doing, Deathstroke? And Deathstroke, thanks for helping me out with heating this week. Much appreciated. And like I said, it is now a tropical 24.4 degrees currently in the hot seat, and it is literally the hot seat. And the kitten's gone to sleep, which is good. That's Jan. Nicholas Barlow, how you doing? James Brock says the volume is good. Oh, sorry, Jason. Matthew Bennett says, right me babbers. I had this case a few months back, easy to work with for an ITX case with panel removal, etc. I'll make a pig's ear of it. Matthew Day says, only 1070? I'm only 1060. Oh dear. Ugly Bob says, you're going to be doing a bit of manscaping. Very likely that will happen. Whether or not that'll be on camera is another matter altogether. I think the YouTube side of things is losing enough views as it is without me doing that. And who else we got?
Zoom in.
William Bodie says, Aletta, have you ever tasted kraut salad? Oh dear, I'm not too sure I want to even go down. Wild Bill says, live stream builds are the best. This one probably won't be, but thanks anyway. Rick says, trying to find graphics cards is like trying to find an honest politician. Yeah, I could agree with that. They normally are honest and then they become politicians. Alessa says, the green build. Yes, oh yes, it will be. It will be very green. Welly Bob says, audio seems great, fantastic. Audio sounds good. Good, 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 good. Audio is fine, sound is good, okay. Alessa says, nice wireless side one for my bass when I was playing in the bands. I actually have got another wireless mic set which has got 2 mic packs, but Kath has already given me 2 fingers and 1 finger, so I'm assuming I'm just going out on a limb here. I don't think she's interested, I'll be honest. But bizarrely, actually, they have sent me, or Boy are going to send me another version, their brand new kit, which has got 2 mics. So if there's any,
Next time Ugly Bob or
next time Ugly Bob or Dave Aiken's around, I think I'll have to borrow you briefly. James Brock says Mayata came in a nice green. It did. Yeah, the Mayata, for those who don't know, outside of the Americas, the Mayata is the MX-5 in Europe and in the UK from Mazda. Mark Point says, as a Canadian, I agree, British Racing Green is the only way to say it. Thank you. Tell bloody Thermaltake that. They didn't like it. Jason Wood's going to make a cuppa. Who wants a cuppa? I wouldn't mind. Actually, I've got a cuppa. I could do with a little bit of a slurpette. Bear with me one moment. I'm going to grab it. I can actually go and grab it because I've got my wireless mic pack on. This is awesome. Actually brilliant. I suppose I should press the mic mute button first. That is a tasty burger. Right then. Stinkity stay, let's have a look. If we're caught up with this. Mr. Hydrated, sorry to keep repeating it. Do you think my Vengeance RGB program will clear my Z53AO on the X400X case? Yeah, it should do. The 400X actually got quite a bit of room. You should be fine. In fact, actually, George, our son's got he's got the same case, I think. Or the 4000D, which is basically the same thing, and he's got Vengeance RGB RAM, and he has got an AIO in there, and it clears it easily. So yes, should be good. Blah blah blah. Joseph T. George says, "Where's the kitten? She eating? Just about to have some food." Scribby says, "Good evening, stream. How you doing?" Stuart Cleary, I discovered my first grey pube recently, and was disgusted. Not as disgusted as the rest of the people in the lift with me. Oh, excellent. Yeah, we didn't want to hear you slurp, says O'Reilly. Okay. Okay, Alessa's doing a build tomorrow as well. Right, okay, that is, I think that is going to be it. So let's get this show on the road, because otherwise I'll be faffing around all evening. So let's start off with the motherboard. Let's do the overhead. I think the overhead should be lined up okay, so you can see what's going on here. Now this is a trick which I always do. I'm trying to show you it, because obviously that is not going to be a good idea. But when you buy your premium CD keys stuff, is print it out and put it in the box. So if you have to reinstall it, you've got your license keys handy, if they're not stored in the CMOS or BIOS or whatever the heck else it is. So motherboard, as we said. How cute is that?
Have you seen Sharkoon's latest case yet?
I don't think I have. No, I haven't, Dutch Jan. I haven't seen it. Tim says, please show the most expensive hardware PC part you have in your house. Well, that's easy. Ryzen 9 3900X. That cost me, I think, 400 quid. That's something along those lines. I still feel sick every day. Right, let's get this done. The TG7M RGB, okay. Do you have something from Noctua? I do have something from Noctua. I've got the D15, I've got the NH-U12S and the NH9, whatever that one is. Does that need zooming in a little bit? Let's have a zoom. There we go. Right, let's get the M.2 drive in first of all. That's probably going to be a good place to start. So let's take off the protective cover here. Oh, 2 screws. Caught me out there with these multiple screws going on. James Brock's giving us a £5 super chat. Bit of dad dancing there. I switched over. I was quick on the draw. Thank you, Mr. Brock, for your $5. Always a good idea to do that when I'm trying to do something which is really fiddly. In fact, actually, of all the things on this particular board, this is actually a real pain in the ass. This mounting system on here is awful. It really is. I swear I'm missing an M.2 drive somewhere. I found one the other day on a motherboard and I was like, oh, where the hell did that come from? I'm sure I've got one somewhere, which is in a place where it shouldn't be.
No, that's my leg, isn't it?
So I'm going to hold that down there. Let us stick that on there. See, the trouble is these drives have got a tendency to kind of wibble themselves out. When I first did this, actually, I did a build with a 3000G and I put in an M.2 drive and it got to the point where it's like, why the hell is it not recognising it? And I was putting in the drive in and out and trying all different types of bloody things. And question from Ugly Bob. Question. Do interruptions like this disrupt your ITX build at all? They do. But fortunately, they are actually what I would consider to be beneficial, so it's fine. As long as I can get to work tomorrow, I'll be good. It'll all be fine. Is that too tight? No, that's fine. So I've done the screw up. So let's go back to the red. So that is the drive installed underneath that little heatsink. The heatsink, to be honest with you, is pretty useless, but it's there so we can use it. Now I have to try and remember now what the deal is with the CPU cooler. I don't recall whether or not I have to remove the backplate or not. I think I probably do, being Thermaltake. They do like to create these weird and wonderful things. Let's just get that back in there. If anybody knows of any really good links in the UK for cheap either M.2 or SATA drives, feel free to leave them over in the Discord chat, because I am going to probably have to invest in some drives, which is, to be honest with you, at the moment, it's probably the worst time I could possibly buy drives, in between New Year's sales and obviously Black Friday. That was definitely an oversight. Right, let's get the CPU in. So this is the Ryzen 5 5600G, as we've mentioned already. Like I said, I could go with the stock cooler on this really, but I kind of hate it. It's only else to answer. I really don't like the stock cooler, so I don't think we're going to go with that. I think that's a bad idea. So as always, when you're putting a CPU cooler, a CPU into motherboard, you've got writing on the top. It says Ryzen and the model number. If you line that up with the writing actually on the socket itself, that is the best way. Or there is a kind of tag in the corner here on the actual socket, which matches up with the little golden tag on the CPU. Just check the pins, make sure they're all okay. Yep, they look fine. And that plops into place. That went in straight away. I don't know what it is. I always feel that I need to put some pressure on it while I'm lowering the retention arm. It's a weird thing. I know I don't have to, but I don't know. Just to make sure that it's making a good connection. So that's that. That's that. So I don't need that anymore. So we can get that out of the way. Clear up as we go. Right. Cooler. Should we do the cooler next? I think it's probably easier to do the cooler whilst it's actually outside of the case. So we're going with the Thermaltake, the ToughAIR 310. It's got a beefy cooler actually. Bit mucky though, because I haven't cleaned it very well. I should clean that actually. Oh god, where's the thing? There we go. Let's get the microfiber on the go. Give that a little bit of a clean up. Don't think that's actually helped at all. That seems to be a bit embedded in there. Anyway, whatever. Is that a meowing puppy I can hear in your mic there? Yes, it is. Right, so what have we got to do with this? Oh no, I remember now.
It's Poppy saying, remember to stick the film off the CPU block on the fan.
It is. It's wrong way. There we go. So this is the monstrosity of the mounting mechanism for this cooler, which I got to try and remember how to do it now. There's a bunch of parts that all went together, and so we need this one here. So that's the AMD back plate. That's the front plate, and we've got 4 spacers. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 screws. Actually, 4 screws. Do we need the 4 screws? Yes, we do. Yeah, those go up from the bottom, and then you got the 4 thumb screws for the top as well. So we don't need that. We will be needing that, and we are going to have to remove the mounting bracket there. So let's get that off now. It is warm in here tonight, isn't it? I turned the heating off as well, and it's I know. I said I turned it off.
Yeah, it's not even warm even.
Yeah.
Poppy.
It is very warm in here this evening. Oh. So how is everybody? Is everybody doing good? I can just about... Poppy wants to go out. His flame just went out. It's too... Yeah, it is too dark.
She's too little for a collar and everything. She's
too little. She hasn't been chipped or collared or anything yet, so if she went running off, it'll be an absolute nightmare. So let's take that off of there. So we're going to move the stock back plate, and I might as well stick those back on there.
Poppy's making Deathstroke's cat, the dog, crazy. He's searching for a cat.
The other cats are looking around a little bit concerned.
Where are they?
No, I expect they are, aren't they?
No.
No, they don't care less. They're like, we've had enough.
Well, Bill says 2 hours ago it was 6 degrees, now it's 12.
Yeah, it's warmed up, hasn't it? It's really warm. They said today on the radio it was supposed to be lows of 8 and highs of 12.
Highs of 8 and lows of 12?
That's the one. It was one of those newfangled Irish stations. I'm joking. I'm joking. Of course I'm joking. Right, I've got to remember how this goes now. So we've got the AMD bracket, so clearly that goes in there. So we've got these which have got little notches out of them. So that is going to go through there. And that twists into the bottom. Oh yeah, I remember now. It's all coming back to me. Who do I think I am? Celine Dion? Save me, Jack. There we go. This actually isn't a bad mounting mechanism. As far as mounting mechanisms go, there have been some particularly bad ones which we've used in the past. So there we go. That is the AM4 backplate. So all we want to do is stick that through there. And it doesn't actually interfere with anything on the back. In fact, it doesn't matter if it does really, because it's all plastic anyway, so it makes no real difference. So let's stick that down on here. Next we've got the spacers, so 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd think, being that I've done a video on this, I should remember how it all goes. Now this is the bit which confuses me. Does this go side up or side down? I think it goes side up.
50-50, you'll get it wrong.
Oh yes, it is a 50-50. And that goes over the screws. And then we got the thumb screws on the top of there. God forbid that Thermaltake actually did something which was simple and straightforward. So tighten those down. Those just need to be hand tight. Happy days. So that is that done. Now would be the time where I would use Thermaltake's thermal paste and using their applicator. It's a very weird applicator actually. Some of you may have seen it in the unboxing we did already. Essentially what you do is you take off your applicator, you put it onto the bottom, then you get your thermal paste and spread it across there, and that leaves you with a perfect setup. Would anybody like me to actually do that?
Yeah, I would.
Would anybody other than Kath like me to do that?
Do you put it on the cooler or do you put it on the CPU?
Well, you could do either. But because you've got all this around the CPU now, it's probably going to be harder to take it off. So yes, 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 do it. Hello Glenn, how you doing Glenn?
Do it on the CPU then, it's harder.
I'm not doing it on the CPU, that is hard. And I've realised now actually, where's my plastic spreader? I lost it last time, didn't I? What did I use last time when I lost my plastic spreader?
I think you did, was it?
No, I'm sure I used something. Where has that gone? My beloved plastic spreader. Should be in here somewhere. Oh well. Let's use some... Actually, let's do the MX5. Because I've got hundreds of that stuff. And what am I going to use to spread it? Oh, that's making a mess already.
Do you want something?
Yeah. What have we got which I could spread it with? Any old plastic, like an old...
£5 note?
An old £5 note, yeah, that'll do. Right, let's centralise this a bit, because it doesn't look like that's very centralised. So let's do that. So let me zoom in so you lot can actually see it. Is that? Yeah, you can see that, can't you? Awesome. So what we're going to do is put a little blobette on here.
Have you got something?
Yeah. No, I haven't. Sorry.
Should I just cut it up?
It's got to be completely flat. Also, you got any old credit cards or anything? Concentrate. I am trying. I don't know where the little plastic spreader's gone. I bet Poppy's eating the damn thing. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Bob. Where has the plastic spreader gone? The thing is with the plastic spreader, it's clear plastic. And I found it! Hey!
Where was that?
It was down next to the keyboard, so I bet little Miss Madam did something with it. Can I have some blue roll, please, Kath? Sorry about this, we are completely unprepared, as always. So this is my little plastic spreader. It's actually got thermal paste on it already, where I must have actually used it previously and forgotten all about it. I think actually the last time I used it, I put it on the side here like that, thinking I'll clean that up when I get around to it. And then obviously in the night time, Poppy's come down here, been hunting around, and that has gone and fell down there, which makes a lot of sense. William Bodie says use a credit card. Yeah, that would have been a preferable thing to do. I'm sure I must have an old credit card.
Don't forget to shoot the number on the back.
Yeah, I've probably got somewhere an old Poppy, get out! She's actually inside the case. Oh dear. Right, here we go. So this is the theory. So you just spread the paste over. This doesn't look like it's working, I'll be honest. No, I don't think it is. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. But it seems you'd have to use a hell of a lot. Unless you have to use that bit. But I don't think you'd use that bit because that's way too small. No, it's got to be this bit. So this is kind of chocolate teapot. And the thing is with thermal paste, you don't want to put too much on.
Stuart Clary wants you to put more on.
Because if there's too much, it's going to go everywhere. It does. I don't know. I'll put some more on. Because that is more than what you'd use. So this is actually going to make you use an actual boatload more than what you normally would use. I think this is one of those kind of gimmicks, really. Unless I am using the wrong side. It didn't say in the instructions what it was for. That looks like it's way too much. But it can't be the thinner bit, can it, surely? Because that has no adhesive to it whatsoever.
But has it got holes in it?
Well, it has got holes to it, yeah. Thermal paste plus cat's hair would not be good, says Matthew Day. Put on a verge-tastic amount of paste. I wonder if that is... Oh, actually, I know what it is. I just need to use a lot more pressure.
Squidge it, Babs.
I'm squidging. Right, this is going to be by no means perfect. You probably guessed that already.
Probably triggering so many people with that.
I almost want to paint it in. I am painting it in now. La 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 la. Actually, that is working out all right. Ah, Poppy, you little bastard!
You should have put it on the CPU. Told you.
Right.
I've got no.
Right, that'll do. I'm at. Oh God, get out the
She's
microphone.
right there, innit?
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna peel this off now and see if that has actually worked in any way, shape, or form.
Not to chew it.
What do you reckon? That actually isn't bad. It is pretty even, but it does seem like a lot of waste. And that seems to be quite high on there as well. Oh well, we've all learned something tonight. Bob says, can you guess what it is yet?
It looks better in the dark.
It does look better in the dark. UB40 would love it. And actually, that's going to be hard to clean because that's sticky as F. Right, we'll put this down to experience and we'll say we'll never ever do this again. Until the next time. Oh, that was stupid. Oh my days. What an absolute moron I am. Right, let's pretend that no one's watching. It's absolutely fine.
Just dance like no one's watching you.
I will dance like no one's watching. Right, O'Reilly says, I don't think I particularly like that method of application. I'll be honest with you, I'm completely on your side when it comes to that. And that is, I think I'd much rather put it on, actually you used quite a lot of paste there as well.
Oh, and Outman's cat's looking for our kitten.
So, I don't know if that probably is enough on there. But, I don't know. Maybe, oh, Poppy, go away. Ooh-wee. Right, let's stick this back on then. So, this has got to go that way round. So, now this is another thing which kind of bothers me about this whole setup. So this bracket here goes through the middle of the cooler with a Q. This is where I actually mess things up now. So this goes through the middle and rests in the center. And then this you've got to wing it and just make sure that you've lined it up as best of your ability. So that doesn't look particularly good. But actually that's not too bad. Oh, I forgot we've got to take the bloody cooler off, haven't we? Shitting hell. Let's see if I can get a few screw turns in. Right, let's unclip the cooler. At least it's nice and easy to unclip. Just do that. Couple of turns, couple of turns, couple more. That's it, that's as far as that wants to go. And that's that one done. Happy days. That actually looks like it's relatively centralized in there. I think you'll find.
Is that an ITX?
It is ITX. So now we can stick the fan back on. Clamp that into position and put the cable into the cooling fan position. And that is pretty much it for that part of the build. So when this is actually in the case, because the case is kind of shielded up, you're going to have the cold air coming in from the bottom of the case, coming into the fan, blowing through the stack and then being exhausted out through the top. At least that is the theory. I think that's how it works, yeah. And now I've done that, you can see I've put the Thermaltake logo on round the wrong way, which would be great if it wasn't for the fact that that was glued.
No.
If it wasn't glued, that wouldn't be a problem because I could just peel it off again and re-stick it. But in haste, before I started the stream, I said to Kath, oh shit, I never stuck the sticker back on because I took the sticker off to get to the screws so I could take that bit off to prove that it would come off. And now I've put it back in upside down, so.
Take it off and see how well the paste spread.
What's that? Take it off and see how well the paste spread. There might be something to it. Is that something people actually want to see? Do you want to see if the paste spread well? Let me know in the comments if that is something you want to see. We can do that. And I'll just put it back on how it was.
Toasty Beard asks, what case are you putting it in?
Saeed says yes. Case is the Thermaltake Tower 100, which we're almost an hour in already. It might not happen. Show me the spread. Nah, waste of pace is Matthew. Stuart says yes. O'Reilly says yes. Yes, let us see. Okay, I think the consensus at the moment is yes. So let's take a look on the overhead. And I'd be interested to see actually how well it is spread and even if it comes off very easily, because that is often a problem with MX5. It is sticky as tar. It really is. So let's see what is going on. So let's see if I can pull this out in one go. I don't want to twist it too much because that is going to ruin the spread. So let's see if I can get it off an angle without damaging the processor.
Bang!
Oh, don't. There we go. So spread wise, actually, yeah, there might actually be something in this. It's actually done pretty well. It doesn't appear to have overspilled the sides at all. Yeah, that's actually not bad. All right, well, I'm just going to stick it back on, which some of you are probably going, no, there's going to be air bubbles. There probably is. I'll be honest, I don't care much. This is all going to come apart anyway. I'm probably going to take it apart and do something else. Let's see, get that lined up.
Does the fan fit either side?
Yeah, it can do. Yeah, the heat sink is designed to be used in either direction. Oh, why does I not want to go back in there now? Am I being stupid now? There's a high chance of it.
What's the difference between MX4 and 5?
Difference between MX4 and 5, there isn't, to be honest with you, there hasn't been a lot. I don't think, personally. Ah, that's gone in there. It performs roughly the same for idle temperatures and things like that. It's not until you really start pushing it that you start to notice the temperatures come off, so it's like really high-end stuff. So for most people, you probably not even notice that it's doing anything. Right, that'll do. That'll do. Let's get that fan back on. So that is the motherboard pretty much all done. Oh, I suppose we could put the RAM in as well.
I did see a comment earlier. What's the wires on the motherboard, or was that the fan wires?
That was the fan wire, yeah. So let's get the. Oh, is that in shot? That's not, is it? Oh, it is kind of. That'll do. Well, that'll work. So now we're going to put the RAM in. So this is the Racing Green ToughRAM. Again, green is yeah. Captain Robbie says, nice to see Mike getting in there nice deep with some thermal paste. Oh yes. So this is the RAM. It's very unusual. The green finish on it. It's almost like a pearlescent finish. I think I said that in the review a couple of times. The green does appear to be, it does have a bit of pearlescent to it. So it does actually look different on different angles, as you'd expect, because that is the way that pearlescent paint actually works. It diffuses light. That was the RAM in, so that was nice and easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's put this all away. Yeah. So there you go. Doesn't really, it's blocking the fan very slightly at the bottom. Very, very slightly. But not as much to make too much difference, I don't think. But no doubt we'll find out. It's a shame actually that when it's in the case, it's going to be kind of like that. That is the orientation in the case. So the RAM, you're probably not going to see a great deal of it. You might see a little bit of overspill. But anyway, so that is that part of things all done and dusted. So I think it's probably a good idea we start prepping the case, because that is going to be, I think, probably the most traumatic thing, trying to get the fans to actually go into the places where I want them to go. Clear up as we go. Kath's looking now. I can see her looking over at me. When I say clear up as I go, she'll be like, "What? Who is this person? Who's replaced him?"
I was thinking, Poppy's asleep.
Yeah. That's it. Poppy always wants to go to sleep, but she thinks she actually wants to go out. So she whines like crazy to go outside, but really all she wants to do is go to sleep. She's a bit like human beings in that respect, that she actually has no idea what she really wants until she's told. So that and that goes in there. That's going to go in there as well. And that should have gone in there as well, I guess. Right, let's put that to one side. And yeah, let's get on with the case. This is going to be Thermaltake. Oh, is there any more of that blue roll? Thank you. Let's clean this up. So Dutch jam. Wrong way again. Oh yeah, I could have turned over the. I could have turned the heatsink around, couldn't I?
The whole point of you doing it was.
I didn't even think of it. I just thought I was going to look at that. Yeah. Do you know what? That didn't even cross my mind. Sometimes I do need to have a word with myself. It's not easy. It's not. Well, yeah, it isn't easy being me, but it's not easy trying to do a live stream, think, build a PC, and all these other things at the same time. It isn't. No, it's not good.
You need to turn it.
I'm not taking it off again. I'm not. I should do. No, I'm not. It's because we're going to be here for hours. Literally, I think I will lose the will to live if I have to do it one more time. I probably will do it one more time before I do the benchmarks and stuff on it anyway. Right, is Poppy in the case? No, she's not. Good, good. Right, so for those of you that haven't seen it already, Thermaltake Tower 100. This is effectively a kind of modular as you can possibly get case. So everything comes apart. So you've got this bit, which I haven't unscrewed as of yet, which I should have done that. Let's stand up. This is brilliant. I can stand up now and not actually stand on the wires for the microphone. This is technology at its best. I'm hoping the batteries last actually. Can you have a look on the receiver on the camera, Kath, and see what the battery level is like? Because we may have to revert back to the old mic at some point.
Looks full to me.
3 bars?
Don't have bars, does it? It just has a picture of a battery.
Oh, and there's the picture of the battery is 3 bars, isn't it? Let's have a look how this one's doing. Yep, 3 bars. Happy days. Good old boy, yeah. Right, so that.
I remember when you had percentage on your iPhone.
Yeah.
That was very useful. Let's get rid of it.
Don't they have that now, percentage for battery on the iPhone?
No, just a picture of battery.
You do?
A bit of colour in it.
Do you not have that on your phone?
Not
I'm sure it has.
absolutely.
Oh no, but it does show it, doesn't it? I know it doesn't, you're right.
You didn't just notice that.
Oh, I know what it is. Because you have to scroll across, don't you? And then it shows you the battery levels in there. Sorry, you guys carry on talking amongst yourself. We're just having a conflab. So that's the top piece off. So now we can take off all the side panels and put them somewhere where they're not going to break. Kath's going to shout at me now because I'm just doing the exact opposite of what I've just said.
We've only got a kitten. It's not going to knock loose.
Yeah, it's not as if a kitten's going to chase after him or anything, is it? I think I've got more chance of ruining them myself than the kitten, to be honest. Oh, kitten fart. Oh, Poppy. Sweet baby Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Right, let's take this top fan off because that is unnecessary. Very, very unnecessary.
But that was you blaming her.
Sure, it wasn't Kath. No, it wasn't Kath, because if Kath would have done it, she'd have, like, done a grenade, like, launched it at me. We've all done that, haven't we? Fart grenade. There's some of you out there that are shaking your heads, and I can tell you're lying. We've all been there. Some of us more than once. That used to be the thing to do when you were at school, when you were younger. Walking down the corridor, drop one, grab it, throw it in someone's face. Kath's looking at me silly. Stop it, Mike. Ah, dear, anyway. Move on.
I know you did.
Yeah, Kath did go to school with me, so she knows that it was actually a thing. Ooh, there's a bag of bits, which have got the bits I need. So that is the chassis pretty much as far as, well, actually, let's take the back off as well. So options in the back. So we could, if you want to, you probably could mount a fan directly to this bit. You can put a 140 in there, although there is actually a back plate in there, which is probably more suitable for it. So let's to give an idea of where the fans are going to go. So let's think out the build a moment without actually committing, although I probably need committing. UK Vamp says, fart grenade, my weapon of mass destruction. Yes. That's why they couldn't find any in Afghanistan, because they're all tightly gripped. So these fans, now the way these fans work is there are connections in the corners there. So you have like an umbilical cable going from each one, which are these ones here. What's Bob sent now?
Can you take the pee, please, Bob?
Blockbusters. It does look like a blockbuster, doesn't it? So that could go in there, but is the cable's going to come long enough? Now the theory is I'm going to have obviously 3 fans, because there's 3 in the kit. So I'm going to have one there, one in there, which is probably useless, but we'll do it anyway because YOLO. And the last one is going to be there, which, so we're going to be pulling the cold air up from the bottom section. We're going to be exhausting from behind the motherboard to keep the VRMs in the back of the motherboard cool, and any excess heat which has come up from the heatsink from the cooler is going to be pulled out the top there as well. And also if there's a graphics card, kind of any heat which has been jetted out the side of the graphics card, in theory should kind of rise up towards here and also be exhausted out. So I think, does that make sense? Am I making sense? Does that make, is that logic? Now that fan I think is actually going to have to go behind here, which could add some complexity to the way that the cabling runs. So what have we got in terms of cabling? Because we've got this one here, which is extremely small. So that isn't going to go very far unless I run it out the back through this rubber grommet. Sorry about this. This is like, for some of you this is probably interesting, for a lot of you it's probably boring as all hell, but this is something which I've got to work out, so do bear with me. You never know, we may all learn something. We'll probably learn the fact that we probably should never ever do this. And actually there doesn't appear to be any obvious way of mounting a fan there, yet they do show it in the booklets, etc. And those, do those line up? That lines up with there, that lines up with there. So there are actually holes. So there should have been in here somewhere 4 long screws to go down through the fan into the actual base there. But they didn't send them. So that is not particularly good. So we've got that one there, which is super long. That's the one that goes from the control box. And there's another super long one there, which goes from the control box to the first fan. So yeah, that's going to be absolutely fine. As long as that fan can go on the back there and plug in. The only trouble is then is the RGB is going to be somewhat offset because is that going to go towards the top? Yeah. So
are they colour changing fans?
They are colour changing fans, which could lead to problems. Whereas if I do it that way round, which way's that? So Saturn. So now I've got to make sure that the Saturn bit on the fan, they're all facing the same way. Otherwise it's going to look a bit weird.
Maybe they aren't using screws on the fans.
What, in the... Oh, right. Where's the connectors on there? There's one there. There's one there. Oh, YOLO, I'm just going to do it. Just going to do it. If it doesn't work out right, then it's something which I will attempt tomorrow after I've finished the day's work. Doesn't that sound pleasant? Right, where's that? So that is there. Where's the other hole? That side. So what the F? Let's just do it. So there's the hole there. I think this is actually going to work out right when it's done.
Put some blue tack.
So I want some blue tack.
You've got that glue gun.
I could use the glue gun.
When the fans fall off, you know it's getting too hot.
Did someone say that in the comments?
No, I made that up.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good for you.
I remembered when you used a glue gun on the radiator.
I did use a glue gun on radiator pipes. I've told this story a million times, but it never fails to amaze me how stupid I was. Yeah, I did actually use...
So it said chewing gum.
Chewing gum. I have got a chewing gum at the moment, so that could work.
And I already said blue tack.
Blue tack. I think what I'm going to use for this bottom one, it's not going to look particularly pretty, but I am actually just going to use cable ties.
Deathstroke at face palm then.
Why?
Glue gun on the radiator.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Heating.
Yeah.
Skills have gone out.
When I was a youngster, I think we was what, 18, 19 then? No, actually George was born, wasn't he?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So I must have been 21, 22, that kind of thing.
23.
Maybe even older, 24, yeah, maybe 23, 24. Jesus, it's getting worse, isn't it? And we'd had some new skirting boards put in, and we had the radiator pipes were exposed, so they were running along. Yeah, the radiator was moved along the wall a little bit because of, I don't know why it was. We had some reason for it at the time, I guess. And yeah, there's those little plastic clips which hold the radiator pipes in place. So I thought, well, it's a radiator clip, it's plastic, it's fine, it'll be no problem at all. So I used a glue gun, stuck it to the thing, absolutely perfect. The very first time we turned the central heating on, there just poing, 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 as all the clips just popped off as they got warm. I didn't think that a hot glue gun well, I didn't think the glue would melt at that temperature, but clearly I blame Kath for having the central heating on too much and having it too hot. It's all your fault. So what we're going to do now is on the back, just going to start daisy chaining the fans up. So we've got a connection in there. So that is coming from the fan on the inside. And we're going to pop that into there somehow. Did it go that way round? It would be easier if I could see it.
It looks smaller than it did.
The case looks smaller.
I think so.
It feels smaller now I'm working on it, I'll be honest with you. So that is a bit of a pain in the backside that I actually haven't got the screws to hold that in place. That is actually quite upsetting. Anyway, right, so this is the cable which goes between one of the fans and the control box. So I'm thinking, actually, where is the addressable RGB and the fan header on this motherboard? Because that would give us some idea of where it should have to go. So the motherboard is going to be in here, like that. So the addressable RGB is, I bet it's right at the bottom. Actually, I just noticed there's another fan header on that board, which I didn't realise it had.
Nor does everyone that watched the video.
CPU fan. Can't see what that says.
Like that.
That's right. Where's the addressable RGB? Oh, it's there on the side. So that actually, yeah, that would work out okay. Rock and roll. No, I'm not going to leave that there because that is definitely going to fall off the table. So yeah, if we put cable ties down through there, this is actually a little bit of a fudge that you can do. So if you get cable ties and get basically another cable tie, you can put a cable tie down through.
Is that a cotton candy machine or something?
It is, yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
If it's in pink, it would.
And let's take the side skirts off. So we've got a bit of better access on the bottom. It's bizarre actually that we're working this way round. So what I'm going to do is where the cable tie comes down through the fan, literally just put in one cable tie down through, and then you put your other cable tie actually on the bottom, and then that acts as, essentially acts as a fastener. I've quite often done this on other CPU fans and things like that. So you just put it in, pull that through, and as long as the actual head is bigger, that holds it in place. Then all you can do after, if you want to, you can trim those excess bits of plastic off. And so snip that there. He says, this is where Bob gets his moment, and he's right, because Mike loses a finger whilst doing a build.
No, I thought you said better access on the bottom, filth, absolute filth.
I'm not even going to answer that. Stuart Cleary says, wife and daughter are in the next room are in knots laughing. I'm a celebrity. I'll watch it tomorrow night. I quite liked I'm a Celebrity at one point, but when it went over to Wales, it just, I don't know. I think it was something about the Australian outback and all that stuff. Even though it was all set up, it just, I don't know, just seemed like it was nice to, yeah, it was nice to see somewhere on the other side of the world that was warm.
People starving themselves.
Yeah. Whereas the last thing you want to see is somebody in the freezing cold, starving, and just being really, really angry. Actually, that sounds quite good. Why didn't I screw in from the bottom? Because the holes they've got there are specifically machined holes, which are designed for specific threaded screws to go down through. Actually, I'm going to double check that just to make sure I'm not being a complete moron with this. But no, they are threaded. So yeah, there's nothing else I could do, unfortunately. I'm going to have to speak to our man at Thermaltake and see if he can send through the spare parts, or maybe I'll just go onto Thermaltake support and see if I can order some spare parts for this. I would like the plastic covers which go on this side here, there is actually, we probably can't see it from there, but there is plastic covers which go here. So if you're not using a graphics card, it kind of covers this section up. Is that tight enough? Fits nice and tight. Yeah, perfect.
Drill new holes.
The thing is with drilling new holes, especially when you're putting those self-tapping screws through, it's not always an exact science, and I wouldn't want to do what I usually do, and that's drill holes which are way too big and then ruin it. It's fine, I'll get some screws, I'll order some up. Or this case will be the end of me and I won't have to worry about it anymore. So, snip these off. Snippity snip, snippity snip. There we go. So I think fan wise, actually, we're looking good. Although we are an hour and 15 minutes in, and still we've only got 2 of 3 fans in. I'm not very good at my job. Right, so now we've got the last of the umbilical cord. So this is going to go from the fan on the back. So we're going to plug that one in, which I still can't see properly. Just flip that over. Actually, let's see if, for those of you that are interested, some of you might be, you never know. So that is the, that's the connection. I don't know if they can see that. Can you see where my finger is? Yeah. So that is the connection. And we've just got like a, almost like an old style phone jack. So I'm just going to plug that in. And then that cable can then go into the next fan. So because there's actually quite a decent length there, so I can run that round. Ah, that's the wrong one. I plugged the wrong one in. That was obviously going to happen. How did I manage to do that? Again. And now I can't get it out. Oh, come on. There we go. Right, so this one on this side should be this one. No, hang on, that's the bloody same again. What have I done? No, that is the right one. That's the one from...
Your eyes.
Your eyes. That one goes into the bottom. Here. So that one is going to then go connecting up to the RGB hub, which will be discreetly put in the bottom. That sounds even worse. Yeah. I don't like these connections. Thanks, Inwin and all that, but go on.
ToughAIR, I can't say it. There's no screws, so there's no screws for those. What if hidden in the box or fell out when I opened it? Just seems really weird. Do you want to explain? Yeah, the case, for those of you that are joining us late or have not seen the channel before, is the case was actually sent to me by Thermaltake after this was actually on display in, I think it was possibly scan.co.uk here in the United Kingdom. So they actually had it in one of their rooms as a display PC. And it also went through a few other YouTubers, etc., for kind of display purposes. So some of the bits, obviously, through it being assembled, disassembled, etc., some of the bits actually did go missing. So yeah, that is the reasoning behind why some of the screws and bits and pieces are missing. If anybody wants to blame anybody, there is a young YouTuber. I'm not going to say his name. You can go over to his channel and cuss him. No, don't cuss him. Yeah, that's true. He might not have had it, and it's always the way that whenever things get passed around. And find out who was the last one to review it.
Yeah, if I knew the last person was to review it, I would probably find that out. Thank you for the super chat from Stuart Cleary. Wow, that's 20 euros. Thank you very much. I might copy this build for a living room media PC. Cheers. PS, as Bob said, do super chats during the builds to distract you. Yeah, it does, but it's somewhat beneficial to my bank balance. And YouTube appreciates it as well, because the more I get interaction, the more they get interaction. So it kind of goes on and self-propagates, if that is that the word? Was that a big word? I did just use a big word, didn't I? Yes, it does self-propagate, so I think that's why Kerry Holzman did so well, because he was getting like absolutely tons and tons and tons of super chats. Like literally, I think we counted one night. I mean, well, Kath started and she got bored, but I think one night he got about $700 to $800 in super chats in one night. And when you're getting that sort of money, it's yeah. That is a lot of things. Is that meant to go through there? I'm thinking to myself. It must be, because otherwise they wouldn't have holes there, would they? Yeah, that kind of makes sense. So if I go back to the overhead. So there we go, you can see the fans in the top there. So now you can see the airflow pattern. So we've got the fan in the bottom, which is going to be drawing in the filtered air from around the three sides. It's going to blow that into the cooling stack, CPU cooler, and then that's going to blow through to this exhaust fan in the top, which is then going to pull the heat out. Any additional heat which isn't pulled out there will be pulled out from the back. If my cable management is any good, and that's going to pull additional heat from the back of the motherboard as well. So hopefully keeping the backs of the VRMs cool and allowing possibly a little smidgen of overclocking, which would be nice. So yeah, what do you think so far? It's not too bad. I'm quietly confident. Shouldn't have said that.
Build for a living room media center. It's not very big, is it?
It
is, but it isn't.
The thing is, for a media center, if you've got the right sort of layout in the home, like you've got, say, one of those like bureau things on the side.
Bureau.
A bureau. If you've got a bureau or some kind of side stand or whatever, then for that it's going to be perfect. For an actual TV unit, traditionally you'd want something which is kind of more like hi-fi type, sort of flatter and thinner. But yeah, it's definitely workable. Now let's think about which way this goes round. ASRock boards go that way round. So, Christ, you wouldn't think that this would make life so much more difficult because everything's on a weird angle, but it'll be fine. I've got to be honest with you, I didn't think this would be as much fun as it is. Now, it's probably not fun for you lot watching, I'll be honest, because you're probably watching this going, oh God, what's he doing now? The absolute plonker. But no, this is pretty enjoyable. I'm learning things and I'm thinking of how things work. Yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty cool.
And you're going to take that cooler out thing in a minute.
And I'm going to have to take that cooler out because the upside down Thermaltake thing is going to look absolutely stupid. Now, I've got to try and work out which threads are... I haven't even got the right screws for the motherboard standoffs. What kind of a world do we live in? Absolute animals. So this is the coarser ones, which is lucky that I've got, hopefully, luckily, I've got a load of those somewhere in here. Actually, so no, I haven't. These are all bloody fan screws. This is where eyesight comes into play, and lack of. There's something about studio lights which don't give off enough light. It's really bright, but it's not bright, if you know what I mean. That doesn't make any sense, does it? I'll shut up.
Like the RGB would have to be turned off for film watching.
Yeah.
That would be a bit bright, maybe.
For the film watching, you'd probably want it to go into like a sleep mode of some sort. You could if you wanted to. I suppose you don't have to use these fans. You can use any fans you want to. If you've got something like the Gym KB28s, I think it was, they got a little remote control, so you could just have that and they would turn off.
Didn't it come with those green fans?
This one come with no, 2 black fans. Yeah, that's standard. It does come with like just normal fans, so with no RGB. But I think probably for some people the RGB is something which they gravitate to. But it's nice to be able to turn it on and off. Very turn on and offable. Is there anything else I need to put in here before I actually put this in position? I don't think there is. So I might actually lean this back.
Will you consider the cooler tower with a fan near the back I/O ports so that RGB RAM is more visible. The tower will fit in that config.
Yeah, potentially that is something that I might do. I'm not too sure if the this particular fan, whether or not it kind of works well in pull rather than push. So maybe I might have to have a look at that. Oh, did I leave that screw in the board? No, I didn't. Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lordy. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. You can tell it's been a while. Come on, in you go. That's better. So only 4 screws in this, luckily, so I can't really mess that up too much. Although, like I said before, never say never. Actually, that feels like it's... Oh, no, that's right. If you find with screws, when you're threading them up for your motherboard, that they don't feel like they're going in right, best thing you can do is just to unscrew it and then screw it in again. And you should find then that it's absolutely fine. It's just where the thread sometimes needs to be sort of recut. And I probably should have put the power supply cables in first before I did this, but there's been absolutely nothing else in this build so far which I've done in the correct order, so why would I start changing that now? So there we go, that is the motherboard in. Much happiness. Oh, that Thermaltake logo. Why didn't somebody warn me?
Well, I thought that's the whole point of you taking it off.
I know. I know. I got an idea. It's fine. Don't let it worry you. We've taken care of it. It's absolutely fine. Right, so that's much better. Warranty voided, yeah. Stuart says you should invest in some long reach posi screwdrivers. I do have to, I always end up almost every year or every other year replacing my screwdriver set which is on the wall. And this year, because I've damaged, what one did I damage? I snapped the end off one. I was tempted to send it back to Amazon and say one of them snapped because they're not meant to snap because they're supposed to be like hardened or whatever. But I felt a little bit guilty because it was, I would say, well, I wouldn't say it's partially my fault, I would say it's probably entirely my fault that it happened. See, I don't know if I should be cable managing this or not yet. That's probably a bad idea. But then that hasn't ever stopped me before. So we don't have USB Type-C on this motherboard because it's cheap tack. We do have USB 3.0, which is going to be right there. So that is going to be quite easy to do. So I can just feed that one through. Actually, that's quite nice having those rubber grommets. That makes me quite happy. Although that's going to be quite the bend. So does that want to go around that way to make up the cable room? I don't know. Cable management is such a pain in the backside at times. And now that I've put the motherboard in, I can't actually get to the USB 3.0 header. Yay. I need smaller hands. Oh, the bloody case button's there as well, isn't it? Shathid.
Do you want me to put them in, but you'd have to move it out of camera.
That's right, I'll wing it. If I had to put the RAM in, this would be alright.
Hammer.
Oh, I don't want to break the pins on the USB 3, that would suck. Right, let's get some illumination on there. No, that's about as much use as a chocolate turd.
Poppy could do it.
She could, Poppy could. She's good like that. Right, let's put that through. Let's put a bit of a bend in that cable. There we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. I crapped myself then. I didn't actually crap myself. But, yes. Oh,
Don't even need me to do the bang.
Right, that's in. I'm happy that is worked. Right, let's forget I've actually got this screwdriver thing. Torch. Close.
Screwdriver torch.
It's that screwdriver torch again. Now, stupidly, on this particular motherboard, the HD audio is right up in this top corner. Right in the top corner. So, actually connecting that is going to be a pain in the Yaris.
So Jim's tech says not the best case to work in there. It's more the motherboard, isn't it, than the case?
It's the motherboard really, which that is one of the things with micro or mini ITX, that quite often it's all designed really well, but because there isn't a kind of de facto standard for where the pinouts and layout is of the board, it can be a little bit of a nose. So can I get that through there somehow? Would be nice if I could get that in. Because otherwise I've got to take it all the way through the bottom bit.
Remember when you needed a first aid kit every time you got a new case?
Yeah, those were the days. How can I get that to stay in there? I don't want the cable to be running along the motherboard, because I think that just looks awful. But I also want to connect it up. So that's going to go in through there.
Rob, yes. Just burning his retinas through the stream.
Sorry. What's up with the lamp?
Yeah.
I do apologise for the retinas.
Up top mic.
It would be better going through the top. I just don't like the idea of it. Let's go through there.
Looks like a small gap at the top for the HD audio.
There is a gap there next to the GPU, so let's try that. Sorry, retina time. HD audio, where's the pin missing there? Yeah, that's not going to be too bad. In fact, it'd be the first time I've actually connected it, because in every other case that I've had, I've never ever connected the HD audio on this, because it's always been in such a stupid place that I've been like, right now, I'm just not going to do it. There we go. So, it's not ideal. It's there, and it's kind of in the place where it needs to be. It's not entirely ugly. Can you see that there? It's doing what it's meant to do. It's connected. So there is that. So what else have we got? We've got the front panel I/O, which, oh my god, that's in a horrible place. What's this one here?
So fit in a 1650, 1660 single fan.
Yeah, you could do quite easily. That would actually be very easy, to be honest. Right, I'm going to pull those out of there. Actually, once this is like this with most cases. Whenever I get a case, it's always like, oh, for God's sake, why don't this fit here, and why can't I do that? Then you use it, and then it's like, oh, actually, that's actually pretty straightforward.
What happened to removable motherboard trays? That makes everything so much easier.
Yeah, actually, I would agree with that. Removable motherboard trays were a lovely thing to have. Yeah, this would be certainly a lot easier to do without that fan in the way.
What fan?
And without the RAM.
That cooler.
And the cooler.
Why don't you take the cooler out?
I'm not taking the cooler out. It's not coming out.
But even with it scribbled, it looks awful.
I know. I will remedy it. Now, which one of those is... Oh god, retina burning. So that's the USB header. I can't remember which one's which now. I'm going to actually have to consult the manual. This board, I don't know why they've done it, but they've actually got the USB 2 header and the front panel header next to each other, inverted. And for those of you that know, both of those are actually 9-pin connectors. And the writing is on the side. And it doesn't point to either one. I hate this motherboard. I think I might have said it before. It's actually not a bad motherboard, I just hate it. Right, so... why do they do it in such small writing?
Do your glasses.
Right, so it's the top one. Bastards. So, power switch, power LED and power switch are probably best to do first. Yeah, this is not entirely enjoyable. Actually, no, I'm going to have to work from the top down. So...
start the rant, Mike. It's time to vent to your viewers.
I'm not going to rant. It's not the end of the world, is it? It's not like real pain in the ass. It's just that is the downside with any mini ITX build. There's always going to be things which are a bit cramped or difficult to work with, just because of the nature of the small case.
Why don't you build a PC in a doll's house?
Building a PC in a doll's house would be an absolute piece of cake compared with this. Right, I'm taking the RAM back out because that is getting in my way. Yeah, this would be... I'm glad I didn't do this in a live build, because that would have been really hard to get across how enjoyable the whole experience has been. Oh, damn, I have. Oops. Sorry, Thermaltake. I can only tell it as it is. And in a live broadcast, it's extremely difficult to do anything other than be completely 100% honest.
Are you on the front panel connections?
I am on the front panel connections, and I wish I wasn't. Right, front panel connections completed. Sorry for anyone's retinas again. So that is the RAM, that's the front panel connectors done, so I can pull those cables through there. Oh, RGB and fan speed. Oh, I suppose I better put the RAM back in.
Do you play Elite Dangerous?
I don't play Elite Dangerous, whoever it is who asked that. Kath has passed it on. But no, I don't. I don't actually know what it is. That's probably quite bad. I haven't had a lot of time for gaming recently. It's been somewhat of a... because Kath and I both got ill, and that kind of put us all on a bit on the back burner. Then it was trying to like get the motivation and the energy together to make videos, and then trying to catch up. Yeah, and then we got 8-ball pool, which was that was kind of like the end of everything then. Yes, right, I think that's everything connected up. So it actually doesn't look that bad. And this I think I can cable manage reasonably well.
Rick thinks it's time for a couple of wobbly pops.
It's time for wobbly pops. So those cables there can be managed pretty easily. That can be tidied up. So you don't really have to if you don't want to, just tuck it all in and just pretend it's tidy. So power supply wise, this is where it gets problematic. So I'm trying to work out if it looks like the power supply mount on the bottom. No, how would that work? Because we've got an SFX power supply, but I've not got the bracket for it. Because, well, for some reason that was omitted. But how does that fit? Because there is this bit in the bottom which it looks like that whole bracket comes out. But then why would you take the whole bracket out? It would be seemingly pointless. So I'm just going to have to wing it and put the power supply in, and I'll have to order a replacement bracket.
The Vulcan Jedi said, I've never encountered an ITX build which I didn't regret building or watching get built.
Yeah, and this one's no different, I guess. Yes, yeah, it's not exactly all plain sailing, is it? Right, I'm going to stick the control box in now. So the control box goes, it's powered by Saturn. So you've got this little Inwin control box, and it's all labelled up on there what is what. So you plug in the main feed from the fans into that end, and then we've got another cable which I've probably lost. No, there we go. So that is the PWM input, and there should also be, there we go, that is the addressable RGB input. So 2 pins into that one.
Doge is here.
Hello, Angry Doge. So PWM, ARGB, and then power. So I'm not entirely sure where this is going to live. I think it's probably going to go on the other side because the connectors are on that side. So the addressable RGB is there, and there is actually the additional fan header there. So that makes them very, very nice and easy to connect up. So I can run that up through the bottom. I've said that too many times today. And let's put that through the back. And addressable RGB. Bada bing, bada boom. And we'll take this other one up through. Actually, if anybody is in the mood or can be bothered, have a look on the Thermaltake site and see if you can download a manual for this particular case. And does it actually mention anywhere how to mount the SFX power supply? I'm assuming that I do need the bracket, but being that I don't have one, that is going to make that side of things particularly difficult for me. So I'm going to tuck that in there. So do I go SFX or, yeah, sod it, I was going to put the SFX in there, and I will worry about the bracket at a later date. Although this is the cutest power supply, it really is.
Doge asked, how are you doing?
How cute is that? We are good, Doge, thank you for asking.
How is he?
How are you? Finished, I shouldn't say really, I suppose, should I? Because that would be giving away personal information. I'm not saying anything. Hopefully you're okay. Right. Yeah, so that has got basically 4 or 5, well 6 screws actually on the side there, but there's nothing actually in here that I can kind of mount that to. In fact, actually I can put the power supply in through the back. So see, the power supply just fits straight in, so there should be normally an additional bracket which goes around the outside of that. So I might just have to put a just a single screw or something in there just to hold it in place.
Deathstroke asked, would you do a mini ITS build in one of those flat cases that are about the size of a Virgin Media box? Inwin, honestly.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, Deathstroke. We did one in the, where is it? The Inwin Chopin, which was about that same size, and the Inwin B1, a little bit bigger, and the A1 as well. Oh, and the K-Link Rocket. That's a little bit too big though, really. Right, I wonder if I can get this to mount. Just, is there going to be one hole that matches up somewhere? Please.
No pressure on your cable management with Doge watch in mind.
Oh no, the cable management on this is going to be absolutely awful. I'm not even going to pretend that it's going to be otherwise. So as long as I can get a couple of screws in there just to hold it in place, that'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm saying that a lot today.
Wild Bill posted a link to the manual. Can you see it, or?
I don't think I can. Does that screw go in there? Is that screw meant to go in there? It's more importantly. I think that's fine. I said it again. It's fine. It's all fine.
What do you want to say?
Does it tell you how to mount an SFX power supply in this thing? Does it come with a bracket, or that's showing a full size one, isn't it? I'm going to go and have a look. Hang on a sec. That's a full size one.
That's installed power supply.
issue. Yeah, it doesn't show the SFX. So why the hell did they send me an SFX one? Damn fools. Okay. So the choice is, do I crack out the Cylon 700 watt, which would be tidier?
What do you reckon, Pops?
Oh, sod it. Let's go with the Cylon. That way if it blows up, at least I can claim on the insurance. Oh. Let's go with the Cylon. Because as much as I want to do it with the modular cables and all that kind of jazz, it would make sense, but really using a SFX power supply in a case which doesn't really necessarily need one is a little bit of a waste. And I'm sure I could find a better use for this at some stage.
Alexa wants you to do
So I'm taking that
a
out.
water cooling build in the P8.
A water cooling build in the P8. The P8 sadly has already gone back because I said to them, I can't even build it. Literally, I couldn't. Well, you've seen it from the review. I couldn't actually get it on the desk, and I did actually do my back in, just putting it on the desk. It is a seriously heavy case. Like, you think 25 kilos or whatever it was isn't a great deal, but when you've actually got to hold it, and it is almost the size of like an older TV. It was like carrying one of those old CRT TVs. It wasn't a very nice experience.
But you might add your Pioneer speakers into it.
Yeah. Right, let's go with the Cylon and blow this bad boy out. I do love me a cheap ass power supply. Poppy, shh. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. At least I got some screws now as well. The Cylon, the killer of cheap PCs. Right, so I've got to take this bracket off now. I don't like power supply brackets. I find them wholly unnecessary. It's just another set of screws that you could have avoided doing. Like, especially seeing as the bracket is actually moulded. If the bracket was moulded for other PCs or something else, then I kind of get it because you're making use of two lots of tooling. But for this, I don't think they did.
Team Drift Nation video. Quite like the Cylon.
Yeah, I like the Cylons. Especially if the screws match up. That makes me happy. That didn't match up straight away. So, I've got to turn it around that way, am I? Oh, hang on. I'm confusing myself now. Which way round is it? Yeah, that way.
Rawley says you need to get your loft into a studio and then have the room for a full tower build.
That is a very, very nice idea. And I would love to do that.
You could do it to a rant now.
Yeah. I don't really want to go into a rant, but I feel I might. But so this is stupid. They've actually made it so that the power supply really does need to be put in, because I want to do the power supply face down, or, you know, the fan side down. But they've made it so that really it should be fan side up. But that makes no sense, because then why would you put a filter on the bottom? So traditionally the power supply would be like that, and that would go on the back of here, but none of the holes actually match up unless you turn it around that way. But I don't think it's meant to go round that way. Oh well, it's going now. Thermaltake.
Yes, you come with a normal size bracket. Did that just answer that?
No, the power supply, that is the trouble with the SFX one, it didn't come with a power supply bracket. And that doesn't fit either. Right, that one fits, that's good.
Can't see what you're doing.
Sorry. Yeah, talking about the loft and getting it converted to actually make it into like some kind of filming space. That would be something I would love to do.
Who makes Ions cases? They're on Facebook, aren't they?
Ions are on Facebook and they're on...
What are they called? They're not called Ions, are they?
Oh god, I've forgotten now. Ions are distributed in the UK by... I think it's like pccomputercases.co.uk or something. Something bizarre like that.
It's probably in one of our videos in the description, isn't it?
Yeah. If you do a search for Ions, I'm pretty sure it does come up with, I'm sure it's like
What's that on Facebook?
I think it's like, yeah, Gaming Cases UK, I think it is. Right, let's put all that through there. Dropping all that as we go.
It's still on the keyboard.
Get them off. Right, does that fit? That sort of fits. That'll work. Just about. You're like, what a palaver for a power supply. Definitely not a quick build. Nice flame. The mirrors are getting hotter in here. No, it's actually getting cooler. It's 24.2 degrees currently. That's almost time for a grant from the government to get the heating put on. Right, so now we've forfeited modularity. So now we've got to work out where to put all these cables, and there's going to be quite a few of them. So this one is the main ATX power, and that is going to have to go.
Like a huge asteroid is about to fly past Earth today, tonight, but we are here to see a show. Tells me this is great. William Bodie.
Thank you, William Bodie. Yes, there is supposed to be a massive asteroid passing by, isn't there? Which, if it's slightly off course, basically it means if it hits somewhere in the UK, in like slap bang in the middle, basically there wouldn't be much left. Which is, yeah, great. That's the last thing you want, isn't it? It's like this year has been bad enough as it is, without flipping great asteroids, and without me putting the PCI Express cable through here when actually I should have been using the EPS cable. Oh god, this is tiring. Right, that's SATA, that's SATA. That I think is going to be EPS. Yes, thank you.
I will never understand when an ITX case that big could have a normal ATX case that could be smaller and easier to work in.
Yeah, there is that. I think if I was, I think this one in particular, just because of the look of it, it isn't a very unusual look. So there's not really a great deal you can do to change that. The original design, for those of you that don't know, actually, it was a showpiece PC that was for CEX a little while back, and they had the, I think it's called the Tower 900, and Thermaltake Mike actually did a Donkey Kong themed build for it, and it looked amazing. It really did, and it got so much attention that they people were saying like, we want an ITX version or a smaller version of it, and this is basically how the Tower 100 was kind of brought to life, I guess you'd say, purely because of that fact that it looked so mental, and people were like, oh yeah, I need one. But the first version was awful, and it had really terrible cooling, so they had to then revamp it before it was released, and that is how we've now got the Tower 100. And this year we have got a CES 2022 in January, which I can't see many people going to be fair. I think Linus has already turned around and said that he's not going to go, which I don't think he goes to many of those trade shows anyway.
He wears sandals.
Yeah, they don't. They're saying, sorry sir, you can't come in, you have to wear proper grown-up shoes in here.
Do you reckon he's got Crocs?
No, it's just the way his trousers are. I need to get that cable through there somehow. Why do they make this thing so hard? Now, this is a relatively straightforward and simple thing to build, in theory. So I've got to go out underneath here to come back in through underneath to get to the power input, which seems totally daft, because it's also going to be in the way of the fan. Why would you do it? So which way does that go in there? Sorry.
Has to go.
Thanks for stopping by, appreciate it. I'm sorry it's taken so long, because this is, well, this is like frustration level 12 and climbing. Why would you make it so difficult? I wouldn't suggest this for a, well, I was going to say I wouldn't suggest this for a beginner build, but I don't think I'd suggest it for an expert build either. Not that I'm an expert, before anyone says. I definitely do not deserve that title, especially the amount of times I'm trying to do this. Yeah, that fan was a bad idea. And now that it's cable tied in, I don't really fancy taking it out. No, that is the right way. Oof. I never want to do this again. Remind me of that, Kath. If I ever say in a few years' time, oh, remember that cool case I had? We should do another build in that. Just hit me repeatedly.
Excellent. Note to self, if anyone asks for building this case, answer no.
Yeah. See, I did wonder, because there's quite a few people who've reviewed this case online, but I've never ever, in all of those videos, I've never seen one single person do a live build in it, or to show the build process. They've just basically gone, boom, finished case, and they've left my stupid, simple ass to do it. The bastards.
Do you need a drink?
Yeah, can I have my tea over, please? Thank you. Right, I'm going to get rid of some of these cables. Let's do a little bit of wee cable management. Although it's going to have to be wee, because I've only got 4 cable ties left, and I've got to make them count.
Get you some more out of the cupboard.
That would probably be good, but I think you'll struggle to get them out.
You'll struggle because Poppy's on the loose again, though.
Oh, God. Poppy on the loose. Right, I'm actually going to use a twist stick. Just going to wrap that around there. That makes me happy. So I can tuck that back in under there. Make no doubt about it, this is not going to be a particularly tidy build. But like I said at the beginning, this is just to kind of get a feel for the girl and see what can be done and see what can be achieved. And I might get to the point where I've built it up, I try it out and it's like, actually, no, F it, I'm not doing it anymore. Stick it on eBay quick. That potentially could happen.
What case do you use? It looks kind of big.
It is kind of big for an ITX. For an ITX case, it is actually massive. Although, saying that, if you took the dimensions of what I would consider probably one of the best ITX cases, which would be the Inwin A1, if you look at that dimension-wise, this is a little bit bigger, but not hugely. Poppy, don't, you'll die.
But she's staying fairly settled there.
Will she be settled when she's dead? Cold tea, the choice of champions and PC builders.
Not beer.
I don't know, I'm good, thank you.
What happened to the ass?
What happened to the ass? Well, I've been on a diet.
That's quite quick for you.
That was quite good, isn't it? The ass, we drank all the ass. I've got some of the other Axe or Fax beer, but at the moment, currently, I figured I'm struggling enough with this as it is, so adding alcohol into the mix was probably not a great idea. Right, just for those of you that are interested, obviously the graphics card does fit. I don't think I'm going to end up using it, but let's give you a turnaround on that. So in terms of the graphics card placement, well, you'd have the screws in there. That actually doesn't look too bad. I quite like it with the graphics card actually. It's slightly unusual like that. Yeah. I think that doesn't look too bad actually, considering, again, it is quite a big graphics card. Although trying to get the damn thing out is going to be nigh on impossible, because there's no room to actually move the clip. So it's going to have to be the long screwdriver. And trying to stab the motherboard.
I used to have a hair before I started this build.
It's true.
Working in this case is like doing 12 rounds with Mike Tyson.
Yeah. There we go. Why don't they make better PCI Express retention clips that are actually easy to get to? They must know by now that people struggle with them. I've seen Gigabyte actually do a really good version where they got a push button which actually takes it off. I kind of like that idea. I think that's a really good thing to do. Right, so I'm going to leave that PCI Express down there. I'm not sure, but I think we can actually start putting things back together.
Looks like a 3D printer now.
It does, doesn't it? There is a certain look of 3D printer going on. I just want to see what this is like fired up. I haven't actually got a monitor I can plug it into to see if it's working, but I can power it up.
Is that one of the 1070s you received today?
Yes. Who asked that?
Team Drift Nation video.
Ah. Yes, we've got hold of a couple of 1070s. Oh, I've used the wrong screw for that. I wonder why that wasn't going in properly. I'm going to do that again. Yeah, we've got hold of a couple of 1070s today, so that's actually brilliant, because the ones that I don't need or don't use, I'm just going to sell on at the cost price, which wasn't very expensive. They're like £200 each, which, don't get me wrong, it's not inexpensive, but in comparison with what you can get on the market these days and some of the sculpt prices on eBay and stuff like that, I've seen the same cards. If you go onto eBay now, actually, the exact same cards on eBay, anywhere between $220 and $350, I think I saw them, which is just an absolutely insane amount of money. It really is.
Team Drift, I'm Danish on Discord.
Ah, now I understand. That is a very common thing with people on YouTube.
Milk in your tea.
It's weird that I have milk in my tea.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, not having milk in your tea in the UK would be a very odd thing.
I drink black tea, but I am odd.
Yeah.
And people are shocked if I say that.
Right, I'm just going to cable tie this down a bit.
John Sullivan, milk all the way, not too much. You love milky.
Well, I like having
milk.
Strong tea, but with lots of milk. So it's kind of like a tea milkshake. Which is probably not the healthiest of things, to be completely honest.
Machine.
It's a popcorn machine. It does look like a popcorn machine. Actually, it's a shame now, in hindsight, I didn't think about it more carefully, because I could have said to them, can you send me the red one? And then I could have done an actual popcorn machine, because that would look like...
I understand.
Shut up! I didn't even say the magic word. Right, does that fit? That fits. Right, let's get the back panel on quick before it all falls out. If this works, I'll be moderately impressed.
Our Wolfman's giving it the... said, give it a joystick and some toys inside.
Yeah.
Joystick and Poppy inside.
Put Poppy in.
She's a bit big now. HyperX is from Finland.
Ah, nice to see you, HyperX. What's going on there? Oh, tell you what, if I put it on around the right way, that would make a lot more sense. One. I should have cleaned these. This will be where I realised that I've actually put on the power buttons round the wrong way or something. Nope, that way. Where's the top? Ah. I'm going to put the screws in, because I'm relatively confident in that respect.
So that ain't going to work then.
That's jinxed it. One piece left, I think. There we go. It is all back together. So what is the chances of it actually booting up? Well, not booting up, because I can't actually connect it to a monitor. But, although saying that, oh no, there's no operating system on that, is there? Tell you what I could do. The lovely Skystalker, oh, don't stand on the graphics card, sent us that monitor, didn't they? The little portable monitor, which I still haven't set up properly. So if I grab that, I'm sure I can plug that in, and I'm pretty sure I can power it off of the USB. Not sure if the cables will be quite long enough, but we can try. So one of those. I can't. Did he say it was the top one or the bottom one? Can you remember? I can't. Oh, that's, yeah, I shouldn't have put that bit on, should I? Because that is where you connect up all the front panel I/O. So let's go with a USB. Go with HDMI. Oh, that's not going to go well, is it? I'm just going to turn it on. What could go wrong?
Oh, Skystalker said first time he's been called lovely. We always
Oh,
lovely Sky.
Yeah, we do. It's very rarely that we actually use swear words when we're discussing Skystalker. Very rare.
It says top should work, Mike. That makes sense.
Top, okay. Yeah. Oh. Bloody metal splinter. Ah, you bastard.
Front panel.
Oh. Huh?
Screen will fit behind the front panel.
Ooh, got some RGB. Hey! That actually doesn't look terrible. Ours. I have to come around the other side and have a look. Oh.
It's still my monitor, can't you?
Oh, that's not bad. It's doing a memory training thing by the sound of it. Currently no signal, although I'm not entirely surprised. It does sound like it's going around the houses in terms of oh, we're going to get a display?
That screen makes.
No signal. Hey! Boot and select proper boot device, so there's no operating system on there. I have a metal splinter, that is upsetting. Ah, you bastard thing. Oh well. Well, it worked.
Glenn wants you to do a cracking little custom loop in there.
Glenn, stop it. You're a very, very bad person. I gotta bite that splinter out.
You've got the areas, jot some tweezers.
I think I got it. Either that or I've just swallowed it and it's going to annoy my throat for the next couple of months. Right, let's move that out of the way. I need some room. Cannot move. So anyway, it's worked, it's booted. Well, it's not booted, but we have a display saying, well actually you can see for yourselves. There you go, it says please insert a boot disk, etc, etc. So I can unplug that because we know that works. Actually, Kath, would you mind turning the lights off, please? So we can have a little bit of a better look at it in the dark. Oh, don't worry, if you got a little cat, I could do it.
That's okay.
Let's go back to the main camera. So actually, I think that looks alright. I think that looks pretty decent. The RGB lighting actually looks quite nice. It's a shame really that you can't see much of the RGB RAM. Well, I guess that's more down to the motherboard choice rather than the actual PC itself. I think the fans as well, being that they're that open design, actually makes a lot more sense. And there's actually quite a bit of airflow coming through there. And you can feel the air being pulled in on the inside. Because the fans haven't been set up to the right speeds, they're a little bit on the noisy side.
A blind man in that,
as you can hear.
Difference.
Yeah. In fact, looking at what I can see on the screen over there now, it does look, it looks more like a fairground kind of amusement than it does when it did previously. That doesn't make any sense. Let me try that again. It looks more like a fairground amusement than it did because of the way the lighting has kind of made it look that way. I think that looks pretty cool. It's certainly very different. There's no doubts about that whatsoever. And if I spin it round, see the
It's got cooler, tower cooler in full position or a small profile. I'm not sure the probably the better choice.
So on the back there we've got the fan.
Did you hear?
Yeah. A blind man in the dark wouldn't know the difference. Popcorn machine worked well. The fan on the other side would be better. Yeah, I think it probably would be. Different is good. Yes. It's a very unusual, yeah, it's a very unusual design. It's definitely got its pros and cons, that's for sure. And I think, looking at the side, actually, let me turn the lights back on a sec. Oh, thank you. This section here, where the graphics card would normally live, I think when it comes to air cooling, because you've got the fan on the back there pulling out, it's pulling out right here, like on the back side, so you're going to get fresh air coming in this side, going into the fans, And then air which is being spilled out through the heatsink is going to come out through the back. So I actually think that cooling wise, I think it will probably do quite well. The only thing I can really say is, Mad Cat, I think actually, if it was in a different colour, I would like it a lot more. I think if it was just a black finish, I think that would be preferable. And I'm actually tempted to take it apart and spray it. Although I don't know whether that would ruin the whole point of it. But I definitely think it's really unusual, a really different look. And the amount of air coming out the top of there is ridiculous. It really is moving an absolute ton of air, although that is mostly out. Those fans aren't protective of a filter, so minding the fingers.
Going for the wires.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I think it's worked out pretty decent. I might have to beg Thermaltake to send me one in white or black. I did quite like the idea of having it behind me here. But now I'm looking at it, I think it's probably too tall. I think I need a more slimline PC up there. I think it's alright. Not bad at all. Right, let's have a look at some of the comments. And I will be doing some benchmarking and some stress tests and further investigation on this. It won't be tonight because this we've already gone on way longer than we normally would do. So let's have a look at some of your questions. Actually, I'm just going to pull the plug, quite literally. And let's get it down on the floor before I damage it. Oh dear. Go on, Poppy. You can't get in there now, can you? There's a power supply in the way. So let's see what you guys have been thinking about it. So UK Vamp says, I do like the case design and colour. Dutch Jan says, not for me. William Bodie says, if the CPU cooler goes up and down, it's a 3D printer. Stuart says, spray it white. Skystalker says, don't spray it, it's unique. Yeah, I think that is the thing. It is very unique, and I think even actually spray painting it or trying to paint it would be disastrous for me, because I'm not really that good at things like that. Ian Taylor says, well done, Mike. I like the look of it. Thank you, Ian. I like it even though it's much smaller than what I usually like. Aletta says, I like it even though it is so much smaller than I usually like. It's very different. William Bodie says, so Mike, don't drink the facts, wait till I send the strong facts. Oh dear God, I am so out of practice for drinking. Even the weak stuff kills me off these days. Ricardo says, another successful build from, I'm not sure, Murat. Mike's unboxing, reviews and how-to. Got it. Well done. Stop. I had to think myself there. Team Drift Nation video. I'm sticking to my Node 202. Nice build though, Mike. Thank you very much. John Sullivan says, my hands are too big for a case like that. Yes. Darren, racing green stripes, mate. Yeah, I think some white stripes on it actually would look pretty cool. Jim's Tech says, Halo case. Not a bad idea. Wild Bill says, nice one, Mike. White would be nice. They do actually, yeah, they do it in, there's a white, a black, a turquoise, the green. I'm not sure if the red or the gold is available yet, although I think they are going to be coming out because they've done the RAM and the fans, etc. in those colours, so I think it's just a matter of time. Oh, and an RGB fanned GPU. Nick Barnes says, nice case. White or black, in my opinion, would be better choice. Yeah, I think it would be easier, definitely, with the white or black, I think, to make things work, to fit, and make it all look kind of cohesive. just unwrapped my Thermaltake Core P1 TG. Same deal with the PSU, takes ATX but no bracket for SFX included. Guess I can put in my AX1600i Platinum, all set for the next gen GPUs. Yeah, that should see you good for a little while yet. Ian Taylor, it's nice to see a live build again. Been missing them lately. No problem. Sorry it wasn't a little bit more interesting, or I suppose it's interesting because it's a slightly different case and it's a very unusual case. I was somewhat of an amateur with it, so yeah, it is what it is. Master Chief theme, says John Sullivan. I think that might work actually. It probably is about the right colour green as well. O'Reilly says, I will never do an ITX build after tonight's struggles. Hey, no, I'm just making it look really, really bad. It normally is a lot easier than that.
And it's hard with the camera angles.
Captain Robbie says, oh no, that's for somebody else, sorry. Nick Barnes says the gold is listed, okay. Mark Point says, put an Aston Martin symbol on it. I was thinking about going slightly the other way, putting an MG logo on it, an old MG logo. And maybe put a black vinyl roof on it. Antnin, I think I've said that right. I like it, something different, just the colour I don't like. Maybe black is cool. Yeah, I think the colour is going to be something which is very, very polarising. It's going to be something that people either hate or they like. Stuart Terry says, well done Mike, doing a live build with Wildcats and having a laugh also. Wow. What else can you do in this crazy world at the moment? Yeah.
The other three in that.
Darren says, put in an LCD display running a teddy bear grabber. It has got that look to it, hasn't it? I did actually look online for some grabbers and some, I think Ugly Bob sent a post where there was a machine you could buy, I think it's like 20 quid or something, but I felt really bad kind of spending that money and then having to just destroy it when it was a working thing. If I could have got a second hand or a used one, I might look at it. Dark grey might be nice. Yeah, I think you're probably right there, John. Mark Point says, MG, yeah, make it a convertible. That was kind of where I was thinking. And what was the MGB? Was it the MGBF? The ones that used to have the head gaskets blowing on them all the time from the 90s? I think it would probably make a good one of those. Wild Bill says, I thought it was very entertaining, had a good laugh. Good, I'm glad to hear it. That's what it's all about. We don't take things too seriously here. Christ, life's way too short for that kind of stuff. So yeah, if I'm not going to maintain on something that I'm no expert, I'll just do it and get my hands dirty and try it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll try something else. And hopefully you lot don't mind coming along for the ride. Markovsky says, had to go...
I don't know how to respond to that.
Shut up, damn it. What's the matter with you? Too short. It says I said the C word. Life is too short for that C word. Okay. Markovsky says, I had to go out and just had a look back. Looks cool, that build, Mike. Thank you. Ian Taylor says, make a grabber from Lego. Sam Mendes says, I love green. MGTF, that was the one. Yes. Jim's Tech says, putting a Master Chief Funko Pop in your build, Mike. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That could work. Team Drift Nation, yeah, any MG K-Series engines you're thinking of, that's the ones. Yeah, they were very prone. Sports car with an engine which is not designed to be revved overly hard or get hot very quick. Never a very good idea. So I think that's pretty much going to wrap this one up. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. Sorry it's taken so bloody long. Thank you all for the super chats and all that kind of stuff. As always, we are humbled and extremely appreciative of all you donations and your viewers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, look at the comments, yeah. Should make a meme. I used to have hair before I started this build. I might do that. See if Thermaltake will actually sponsor getting us a load of t-shirts done. That'd be good. So yeah, I think that is going to wrap things up. Hopefully you've enjoyed yourselves. Thank you all for sticking with us, and let us know what you think about the build. Stick it in the comment section. It all helps the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, that's going to be it. So we will Jim's text, as soon as he gets off stream, I bet he just boots that case. Yeah, it's like, damn you. No, I won't do that. Tempted to. So yeah, anyway, thank you all so much, and we will see you in the next one. I've been Mike, this is Mikesunboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch, oh that hurt, you in the very next video. Thanks for watching. Oh, I can press